What up, though? This your homie Jamal Baraka from Detroit, Michigan, hitting you up from GT Media Reviews, God Tier Media Zone. It's been about a week since I made a video, and today we're going to be talking about the rise of Skywalker, or as Doomcock would like to say, the rules of Soywalker. I've had this channel up for a couple years now. I do it when I can. It's not really my full-time thing. I got my day job. It's kicking my ass. I record videos when I can. But today I wanted to talk about this confirmation that Rey's father is a failed Palpatine clone. I take serious issues with this because to me, what this reveal does is basically tell us that instead of giving the fan base what they wanted, which was Rey possibly being a Kenobi or the daughter of Luke Skywalker, we managed to subvert those expectations and give us the exact opposite. And from my perspective, this is bullshit. This is probably the worst scenario they could have came up with. Before I go any further into the video, I want to say like, subscribe, share the content here. Just make a comment. I'll respond. I respond to all comments. I read all comments, and we can go from there. But I just want to say that I didn't see Rise of Skywalker. I probably will see it when it streams. One of the reasons why I didn't see it was because when The Last Jedi came out, and in the situation that the film was left in, there was next to no possible way that this movie would have been good. So when I saw The Rise of Skywalker, I was like, okay, so Luke is going to come back, or it's going to be revealed that Rey is a Skywalker, or we'll see Ben get redeemed. Nope, hell no. Luke is still dead, Leia dies, Ben dies, and what we're left with is the granddaughter or daughter, now that we have the reveal, of the daughter of Palpatine is the last person standing in the Skywalker saga. We don't even have a damn Skywalker to go into the next trilogy if we ever go any further into the story. So the entire Skywalker movie or plot is around Rey, who is a Palpatine, which makes this entire story the Palpatine saga. And I love my homie Palpatine. Palpatine is my favorite Star Wars villain. He's one of my favorite villains of all of fiction. But you don't want his daughter to be the last person standing, especially if we go by the scenario where in Rise of Skywalker, he says, "Kill me, and all my essence will take over your body, and you will be my legacy," or some shit like that. He probably didn't say it like that because I haven't seen it. But still, if let's say he did do an essence transfer with Rey, and she's all happy now, like, "Hey, I'm Rey Skywalker." And then 10 years later, she says, "I'm Rey Palpatine," and takes over the galaxy again. This is like the worst scenario you could have came up with. If it was me, what I would have done is I probably would have said, "Hey, we can't redeem Ben Solo, but what we can do is we can redeem his name." Well, we can say, well, he decides that he wants to face Palpatine. He and Rey kill Palpatine. He goes into exile and tries to redeem himself, and that's what his role is for the rest of his life. He's trying to make up for what he's done, but he lives his life as an outlaw in exile. I think the fans would have gone for that. I think the Reylos even would have went for that if they said, "Hey, Rey and Ben can't be together because of his past." All of that is better than killing off the entire Skywalker line. I even thought it would have been cool if after The Last Jedi, Luke Skywalker teleports away, and then we find out that he wasn't really dead. He just teleported somewhere else so he could pop back in and help out. Nope, we don't get none of that. We get the laziest shit. We basically kill any interest in Star Wars, none of the principal characters are alive outside of None of the principal characters are alive outside of Billy D. Williams. Nobody cares. It's just like it's cliche to say they ruin your childhood, but it's like if you don't see a path forward, or there's no path forward for this franchise outside of going into the past or the far future, like do you really want to see what happens with Rey at this point? Do you really care about anything that happens with Poe or Finn or anybody else? No, it's just, this is terrible. And then there's like no world building for this setting. So it's like, okay, you have the First Order. Does the First Order just disappear, or did they get merged into the Emperor's fleet on Exegol or whatever? Or do I have to read a book, or am I gonna have to buy comics or novels or whatever? Do I really care about anything that's going on in the setting? Not really. And just for the hell of it, this article comes from Screen Rant. The writer is Chris Ager. I really don't care about the article. I just needed a screenshot. I mean, a thumbnail or whatever. But that's my video. I just wanted to touch on it. I just really think it's a really horrible idea to say that Rey is the daughter of Palpatine, when the entire story would have flowed better if she was just the daughter of Luke Skywalker. And you don't even have to have her as in a romantic relationship with Ben Solo, but it just would have made the story better, because you would have had Rey, an actual Skywalker, going up against Palpatine, who is the actual villain, or you could say you can have her go up against Snoke or whatever. But if she was connected to one of our heroes, there's no subversion of expectations. You don't always have to subvert expectations. Sometimes you just give the fucking people what they want. The people wanted to have a good Star Wars movie. They wanted to have a good story. They wanted to go in and walk out with a good, clean feeling going forward with this trilogy. The Force Awakens wasn't the perfect movie. A lot of people said it was a copy of A New Hope, but I didn't feel like that. When I walked out of The Force Awakens, I walked out happy about the direction of Star Wars. There was 2 years of speculation. Who's Snoke? Is Finn Force sensitive? Who's Rey? Who's her parents? Is Ben going to be redeemed? These were things we talked about every day in the Star Wars community. Now it's like nobody can defend this shit. You can't defend anything coming out of this trilogy, this story, and you want to go back to the High Republic, and then it's like, well, just make the Old Republic. What the hell is wrong with you people? What is wrong with you people? You got the Old Republic out there, and it's just like you can just take material from that. You have Grand Admiral Thrawn. We barely got him back. They didn't even want to use him. They used him for the Star Wars Rebels, and it's like Thrawn is like the best villain that you have. Just use these people. Use what you got. Quit making up bullshit. Quit giving us bullshit. Just tell a good story. Man, this is it. It's a rant. This is probably the angriest video you got out of me. Like, comment, subscribe. If you want to add anything to the discussion, I'm here for you. Like I say, I'll read all my comments. I'll respond to all my comments. And I'm here for you. I think the next review I'm going to do is going to be a comic book review. I got a couple books in line to talk about if I want to go that route. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, anywhere at GT Media Reviews. Thank you for being patient with me as I work out my issues with Star Wars. And I don't want to make this a regular thing. I think this article is pretty basic, but it's worth a read if you can find it from Screen Rant. But this has got to be the most garbage idea they could have came up with. Rey is a Palpatine. Look, before I cut it off, what could actually work with Star Wars if, say, in about 10 years, they do make a movie where Rey comes back and she's the actual villain, and she has to be taken down by Poe, Finn, and maybe Chewbacca, and we get an actual resolution to the Palpatine story, because the essence transfer thing is still in play. if Disney wants to go that route. I know they probably won't want to defile their Mary Sue character, but hell, they defile everybody else in the damn trilogy. You know, everybody else got disrespected, so I'm like, we can take Rey out too. You know, and then at least then you have a natural resolution to the story instead of some garbage that, you know, that nobody cares about. Nobody, I saw one girl dressed as Rey at any Comic-Con or any Halloween or anything like that. This is a failed character in a failed trilogy. And it's painful to say that about Star Wars because I love Star Wars so much. It used to be my favorite thing besides like Batman or the X-Men. It was like Star Wars. There's so much good in Star Wars, and it's just gone. There's just nothing left. Nothing. They even ruined Palpatine. Palpatine comes out and he's like, hey, he dies. He's a fucking idiot now. You know, before he was like, he was so over the top in the prequels, and it was like, this guy is the best villain ever. And now he just comes out and he dies even worse than he did in Return of the Jedi. He just stands there and gets electrocuted. And I didn't see the movie, but I watched Mahler's video, and it was terrible. It was terrible. I'm done. Have a good night.